Hi, everybody. I wanted to talk to you guys today about writing your conclusion. The handout might seem a little dense, so I wanted to go through it with you to make sure that you understand that it's not as complicated as it looks. So your first paragraph here is just going to give you a little bit of a definition of what the conclusion is. But it's not really that important. I want you to get down to here. So here are some things that I'd like you to think about when you write your conclusion. So you could talk about the introduction. You could give a really good example of your archetype. I would ignore this third one. But these are the ones that you really want to think about. Like, why is it important to think about archetypes in literature as being a pattern, sort of like all the stories are exactly the same, except they're just mixed up and use different archetypes. So think about that. So these are some ways that you can do some things in your conclusion and do something really good. So some other really important things about your conclusion is, one, bring together all your ideas that you think are significant. Interpret what you did and talk about your thesis. You really need to know what your thesis is about. Maybe you have a new attitude toward what you wrote. Come up with an image or a rhetorical question, or summarize your thesis. Here are some things that you shouldn't have in your conclusion. Don't just sum up or restate. Definitely don't use new ideas. Don't just talk about the topic. Don't try to do an all-encompassing conclusion, the key to all mysteries. Don't apologize. And absolutely do not use someone else's words. The conclusion is not the place to use other people's words. This just gives you a little more details about what I just talked to you about, so you can read through this. And here's a really good one. Please don't start your conclusion by saying "in conclusion" or "in summary" or "as you can see." That's very sophomoric. A qualification. So I realize I've given you a lot to think about. So remember, this is not a place to give up or do anything with. You really want to try to wow me. I'd like you to show me that you know what you're talking about. Here is where you really should show me that you understand the thesis that I just made you write about. And number 3, this is kind of important. I'd like you to think about, what do you know now about archetypes? And are there any new stories? Do we just keep repeating ourselves? What does that say about us? So those are some really good tips. Your conclusion is due by Tuesday night, and I've given you 2 really good examples at the end of this that you can look at and you can model your conclusion after. So if you have any questions, let me know, and you can certainly text me or email me, or we can even set up a call. I'm happy to talk to you on the phone. Hope all is well. Can't wait to see what you write. Bye-bye.